Good day to everyone. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had an amazing weekend. Like, share, and subscribe to the amazing Sophia FX channel. Make sure that you like, share, you subscribe. Because obviously we are going to be live some few times this week also. So how is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? How are you doing? How is everyone doing? It's Monday, guys. It's Monday morning, Monday morning. And it's going to be an amazing week, obviously, in the market. And so over the weekend, I have been shorting Bitcoin a little bit. Um, I'm getting into the crypto space. I'm getting to know the crypto space. Want to understand how it operates actually, without going too much into, because I only trade crypto by investing in it but not trading it. So I want to go into the phase where I have to trade it. So I was just trying it out with my scalping account, and in the weekend I was trading crypto. So this was the trade that I took on crypto. Right? Yeah, so this was the trade that I took on crypto, and it was not that bad. That's not that bad. That's 11% made. Clean 11% that was made on that setup. And I actually took one of my accounts to a crazy level. So but it's like, for me, it's like basic stuff. So it's like what I do every single day, right? For me, it does not make a difference. Yeah. So I want to see if I can get my MT4 for my scalping account, just so I can just show you something here. From the 31st. Yeah, so let me just get my chart ready. Today is the 2nd. Yeah. um oh, Saturday was the 31st. Yeah, so I was trading crypto on Saturday, and yeah, here are my, let me just share the screen with you guys so that you can be able to see my screen, for us to move forward. There we go. So you guys can basically see my screen right there. So that's a scalping account that you can see on the screen right there, and I think I can get it to become bigger here. Let me see. All right, there we go. Yeah, so basically you guys can see over there that on this account I deposited $40. All right, and then Saturday I was selling Bitcoin, and I sold, made 73, which means the account was 100 and something. And when the account was 100 and something, then today in the morning I just took a quick scalp from here to there. So I was like, I was deep into gold. All right, I was deep into gold, trading gold, and just get okay. So I was deep into gold, trading gold. I entered it right here. All right, so this is where I entered gold, and then I brought it all the way here. All right, so I was just trading the retracement, and I made 900 profit. All right, 900 profit, and then you see the withdrawal of 1000. Okay, so from $40 to 1000, you can check the date. Is the date of today is the 2nd of February, and you would see that the trade was 7 a.m. So I took this trade 7 a.m. all right, and yeah, basically that's how I was able to scalp quickly. The reason why I'm scalping is because the market is chaotic. All right, the market is chaotic, and I'm still looking for proper setups to take in the market, like stuff that I can trade, and not worry about like what if price goes against me and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'm looking for stable setups, and for now I'm just scalping. Basically I'm just scalping because the market is not giving me something that I can lean on. But I believe that this week I'll probably catch proper setups. I have a goal that I want to reach, basically, and yeah, eventually the market will go and we will make money, and we'll make money. So basically, if we start with DXY, we know that DXY is retracing, okay, and the retracement is a result of all the chaos. But why is the DXY retracing? Because Trump has just announced his new selection for the bank of for the central bank, the Federal Reserve. So since he has already decided who he wants to be the president or the governor of the bank, the US dollar is retraced, because the US dollar has been on this falling spree. It's just been like consistently dropping and doing other stuff, and for a while it has been consolidating for almost a few months, I guess. If you can look into it, we can see that for almost 191 days. Market was just ranging, consolidating even more. Okay, because if you can see, the range was almost a year. And remember, a year is 365 days. All right, and the market has been consolidating on DXY for 261 days. That's crazy, right? So yeah, so almost a year, like the whole of 2025 was a consolidation. So a lot of people don't understand that Trump is inheriting a terrible market. Everyone will be like, oh, why is the market falling under Trump? No, like the Biden market was already falling, it was collapsing, and Trump just inherited the market. So when Trump came, the whole of the year, the market was consolidating because they did not like consolidation. Basically means that people don't know if they should buy or sell. That's what consolidation means. So consolidation means that they don't want to sell, they don't want to buy, they're just stuck at one place. So that's what happened when Trump became president. People were not sure of the policies that he would take, and now we saw the dollar basically breaking this lows right here for the first time in 290 something days, which is crazy. So if we look at basically the higher time frames and all that stuff, then we can see that from 2023, all right, up to 2025, the market is consolidating, all right, or the market is in a recession, or retracing. Market is retracing basically, because when we look at the bigger picture, we can see that price looks like it's bullish, all right, bullish market. But when we look at the internal time frame or the internal picture, it looks like a retracement. So the final judgment can basically only be made once we see this lows being taken out on the currency, all right. And this was a nice proper sweep of the liquidity below here. So that looks like a good liquidity sweep area, and now it's up to us to determine the policies that are being made to decide on where price is going, because you see this is a demand area and we see a formation of something like a liquidity sweep. So Iran war, Trump is in war with Iran, and so like it's crazy, guys. The only way that we can say that dollar is buying is when dollar is above this region right here. Like, I'm just being honest, like I'm being dead honest. If we see price above this range here, then we can say that no, dollar is gonna buy. But that's not looking like so. Okay, it's not looking like so. So what makes more sense is to see dollar dropping, yeah, until we see a move that looks like it's going to buy. So we are just cruising, going down, like that's it. So we have discovered the range, we've discovered the high of the range, the low of the range, obviously what we call in basic textbook trading, which is the lower high, all right. So the lower high is there. As long as the lower high is not taken out, we cannot decide to say that dollar is going to sell. unless there is a shift in policy by Trump, then now we can say that, oh, dollar is going bullish. So when we see the bullish movement on the daily time frame, it can just be price, retracing, and yeah, that's how we can see the frame of the whole thing. Shows us that there is changing character, and basically price retracing back, and coming down, making a major break of structure. So what's the next move that makes sense? Basically see, so for a few days maybe we might see bullish movement, maybe even this whole week, or maybe up to Wednesday, Thursday, longest it can be up to Friday, but I believe Wednesday, then we can start seeing price collapsing, or even Tuesday we can start seeing price collapsing down, because usually we have seen that Friday price was heavy on the buys. Today is more of like indecision day. It's an indecision day. So you see, price is more easy to trade when it is done making an indecision, and this is where I am different from many traders. I don't trade indecisions because that's guesswork, that's gambling. I trade sentiment, I trade volume, momentum, I trade fundamentals, and I also trade technicals. So once I add all of that data, then I can make a financial decision. All right, so that's what I mean by that's when I make a financial decision. So if you can just try to understand what I'm saying. If you can see price over here, it made an indecision candle. All right, now this indecision candle is a gambling candle, right? Let me say it like that. Why? Because price broke structure right here and then immediately came back to the supply area, right? So we see the supply area being touched. All right, so why would we want to look for continuous buys? So now this is where things get rocky. The trade that is from here to here is making sense to trade, going long, going long, going long. Obviously there'll be days that price will be retracing, which is normal, like these days, as long as the range is not broken and we are continuing. But once price comes close to a demand area or a POI that is in a good area of premium or discount, then now you can basically decide to say, no, I should wait, I should not wait, I should chill, I should relax. And those are basically the days that you don't trade. All right, those are the days you can trade. So bullish movement obviously can make sense when price is at the low areas, like here, like here, like here, maybe even here. You can try to make an entry, but once price is at these high areas over here, it does not make sense for you to continue buying unless you see a strong confluence. So when price is like here, I basically avoid trading with high risk. Good day, good day, good day. So I avoid trading with high risk. Okay, I make sure that I minimize my risk exposure to the market. All right, so why do I do that? Number one, the reason why I avoid risk exposure is because it would make sense for me to risk highly from here, all right, up to here. But once price is already exhausted, I would not want to risk a lot of money, because then that means that I'm now in scalping mode, constantly scalping, waiting for price to give me a direction. So it's the same now. You see, so if I would look at the higher time frame right now, the higher time frame did not even move that much, because it's obviously currency, it's not gold. It's not like gold that moved 5% today. It's like if you look at gold is at 4%, negative 4%. Look at silver, it's negative 6%. Crazy, right? So meaning that in just in a few minutes you can like make, you know, $1,000 easily. You know, like 7 o'clock in the morning already I made my daily target on my scalping, and that gives me, you know, the freedom of knowing that I can wait for quality setups to trade on my large accounts, because I want to trade on my large accounts, because I want to make money for the month, not because I need, you know, like basic essentials, right? So my scalping takes care of my basic essentials, and then my large account takes care of my big boy business, you know, the big things I want to do. So my psychology is not negatively affected. It's not negatively affected because I'm in the market, I scalp, and I make my daily targets. If I lose, then I lost for the day, and at least like I get to do to have the money that I wanted for the week. So even if I don't find a single swing setup or a nice, you know, 50 pip above, yeah, like for me it makes sense if the setup is 50 pips or above. If I don't find a setup like that, it's okay. Like I can wait for 3 days without trading, and that's why you would see my results. If you go in my portfolio, then you would see that my setups are quality setups. But if you go into my scalping account, you'd see a lot of contradictory stuff. Yeah, you can like, you'll be like, hey, can this guy really trade? Because the scalping account's main aim is just to, you know, make me quick money. So like I don't care about win rate there. I don't care about win rate. I'm not selective. I am more high frequency trading. So even if I lose on a setup, I'm not blowing the account because of my math, my calculations, and how I'm approaching on the account, right? So yeah, like it takes a lot of mental discipline. All right, it takes a lot of mental discipline for me to be able to achieve that. All right, so that's why, you know, it's very difficult to because you see, if you're operating on a high level, all right, in your skill, you need high amounts of discipline, like high amounts of discipline. You cannot want to be the best in your field and not have discipline. All right, because you see, you are competing against great people in the industry. So if you're competing against great people in the industry, the time that they are sleeping is the time that you need to work hard. All right, the time that they are not preparing is the time you need to prepare. All right, so that you can be separated. And majority of the time, most of the people that are in this world are distracted, all right, because of what? Social media, you know. They are not awake to reality. Many of them are distracted. That puts you ahead, because everyone wants to be accepted online, and you know, they are living by other people's standards. So they do things not because it's right, but because what will the public perceive them as. And that is why you are ahead of your opponents, because like I'm ahead of my opponents because I don't really care about what people say. Like, to be honest, I don't give a flying fish. I don't care. So that's what separates me. So now with that mindset, I can make millions of dollars. Why? Because I don't care what people think. I'm not rushing for anyone. I'm not slowing down for anyone. I move on God's speed. All right, I move on God's timing. So I can stay 3 days without executing a trade on my large account, because I'm waiting for setups. And even in those 3 days, if I lose one setup, other 2 setups can be powerful, and I can make like a good risk reward out of it. All right. So that's what separates winners from losers. So we are basically seeing price, going up like so. All right, and this is the internal break instruction. All right, so we can see here this supply right here. So we might expect price to come to this supply right there. We might expect to see a decision over here. But what we also need to know is that we also have a little bit of fair value gaps, and there's also a gap over here, right? So price can just even decide to take a grab inside of that gap and continue falling. So our understanding and our mindset should not be limited to what price must do. It must be about what is price doing. All right, what is price doing, not what must it do, because many people like to command the market, and the market always doesn't move how people want it to move. Like, it moves the way that it wants to move. So yours is the responsibility just to interpret what the market is doing and to follow suit, obviously. So when do we decide to start looking for sales? When price says so. All right, so what would make sense right now, since DXY is still in buys until we start selling again. And again, I said once this high is taken out, then we will start looking for a bullish momentum, long-term bullish momentum on DXY. For now, we cannot look at a long-term bullish momentum yet, right? I think that Trump is also deliberately crashing the markets so that he can make an economic comeback. Yeah, so like that's another deep economic theory, but I don't want to talk about that. I think it's just one of the economic strategies that he's using. So now we have an understanding. All right, I'm just going to be dropping this on the Telegram channel for those that are not obviously on the channel. You just join the channel there and check out. So guys, so those that watch the video basically understand the chart, and those that not watch the video are going to have their own conclusions, and that's just how life is. All right, that's just how life is. So guys, I'm moving to the next segment of this video, because obviously if I go live, I have to give you a little bit of information so that I can feel good that I did not come here and I did not give you valuable information, which I already did in the beginning of the video, but I need to give you more valuable information. And here we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so if you can look at the chart right there, we need to understand the 3 phases of the market. All right, 3 phases of the market. Basic understanding of how the market works, how the market operates. If you understand this, basically you understand everything in the market, because this is your genesis. This is what you must know. This is your gospel. You should know this. All right, first thing first, the market moves in a downtrend, moves in an uptrend, and then consolidation. Those are the 3 movements of the market. And you should understand that the market, when it's in a downtrend, always takes out the weak areas. All right, see the weak areas, and then when the market is in an uptrend, it takes out the weak areas. But now the downtrends weak areas are the lows. All right, the lower lows. All right, and in the uptrend, the weak areas are the highs. That's the opposite. So while it is taking out the lows in a downtrend, it avoids to take out the highs. All right, because when it takes out the high, that's when the trend has changed. When it takes out the highs, the trend has changed. So let's say that if this takes out the price like that, the trend is no more a downtrend. It has become a change of character, and then we can expect to see price retracing for us to buy. All right, so that's how the basic market operates. So your responsibility is to understand that since we are now already in a downtrend and price has made a break of structure, that we are retracing and we are respecting the highs to take out the weak area. And that's what we exactly did here on DXY. Price has broken structure, and now we are waiting for price to come back at the retracement point, either at the fair value gap or the supply area, so that we can look for sales. And this is the high, and this is the weak area that is created. Wow, crazy, right? Crazy stuff. So that's how basic the market is, guys. So with all of that information that I've given you so far, if you would want to know more about the market, go and study what I gave you. Go and study. It will be very helpful for you. This video is actually very important. It will improve your strike rate. It will improve your accuracy. You'll be more accurate in the market. And what more can I say? All right, so DXY, we're looking for price to retrace and to sell. All right, or price must show us, at a certain change for us to start seeing. So even if I move in the internal time frame, which is the 1 hour right here, we can basically see that this is the low and this is the high of this range. So basically price can come back to this demand, and we can see after price comes to this demand that boom, a buy. All right, so if price does not break the low, then it's not done doing its thing. All right, it's not done doing its thing of buying. All right, so actually let me just select the whole order block. Yeah, so this order block, it's like now it's 11:47 p.m. Central African time basically, and the market can retrace to that area there, and then we can see price moving higher. Yeah, so if you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna give you everything. All right, I give you a lot. All right, I gave you a lot. You're not even in the membership, and then I gave you a lot. So so I don't know when I'll go live again, but I'll see if I can go live again this week. So guys, it's all about the psychology that you have. What are your goals for 2026, end of the year? Where do you see yourself? And if you say that you want to do ABC, your goals will be aligned with your actions. All right, your way of trading will be different because of what you want to achieve. You can achieve a lot of greatness if you have a target and if you have a plan. You need to be committed to your craft, and you need to know what you're doing, because one loss cannot determine who you are. All right, it's only when you don't know who you are and where you are going that you will let one loss or one bad day or one bad week or even a bad month, there are months that where you are just not profitable, That's maybe just a time you just need to stay off the chart and reflect a little bit, spend time with your family, you know, reflect on stuff. You know, it's not a must that you should, you know, be trading the market live and feel like you are losing your touch, and because you're losing your touch, you're just blowing money, and then the next month comes and you're not profitable. Sometimes it's not even wrong to take a week off without trading. You know, it's not a bad thing at all. Stop living by the pressure of people and by the pressure of the world. Be a professional at your craft. Be a professional, because you will not be determined by one day but by the year. The time that people will realize that you have made it thus far is because you have been committed for the whole of 2026. You are not after making a lot of money in a short period of time, because that's where many people lose it, because they're so desperate to make millions of dollars in a short period of time. They end up losing everything, and then they start over again, or they even quit, and then they even say that the forex market is a fake market, that the market is fake, trading is fake, there's nothing good about trading. But if you have a different mindset and you are focused and you are calculated, you have your numbers right, you have your numbers and say, if I risk this much per day, this is how much I'll make by the week, this is how much I'll make by the month. Be realistic. Know how much you're starting with. Don't want to make a lot of money if you don't have a lot to risk. I can make on my scalping account, you know, money because I'm willing to risk. All right, I'm willing to risk. That's why I'm making that money. I don't care if I lose on my scalping account. I care when I lose on my large account to a certain extent. So I know that if there's no proper setup, if there's no, you know, quality setups, I don't trade. And if the quality setups, I also understand that I might lose on a quality setup, right? But I know overall at the end of the month I'm in profit. And this is what I'm preaching all the time. It's what I'm giving you people all the time. It's like I'm repeating, I'm on repeat. People are looking for something latest, something new, but it's not like that. Like, you can be very successful in this industry once you start becoming a professional, once you stop depending on one setup, once you start thinking like a professional. There's no business that would open, even if you open a grocery store, that one product will cost $1 million. Someone just buy that product and then you're automatically rich. No, it's products that are consistently bought from your business that make you profit, that you can say, in the first quarter of the year I made this much profit, second quarter of the year I made this much profit, third quarter of the year I made this much profit, because you are running a business, not a gambling store. So also treat trading like that. Make consistent profits and withdraw your profits so that you can say that, okay, January I made this amount, I'm gonna upgrade. February I want to see if I can be able to make X amount. And if you don't make it, still you are still profitable, but you're still optimistic. But your optimism is not making you an aggressive, careless, reckless trader. You know what you're doing in the market. You know what is the limit of how much you can risk per week. You know what is the limit of how much you can risk per day. You know how much is the limit of how much you can risk per month. And you also know the potential of how much you can make. You are not limited if you can only make a certain amount. You are actually strategic. You are not limited, you are strategic. So if you're making 1,000 per day, you are not limited. If you're making 50,000 per day, you're not limited. Just because you saw someone else making 400,000 per day doesn't mean that you are limited when you are making 50,000 per day. You are not behind. Because if you can make 50,000 per day, if you can calculate that, that means that you can make in a range of 500,000 to 900,000 per month. All right. So, but the guy that's making 400,000 in a day can actually even lose 100,000 in a day, because 400,000 requires more risk to make. What is his risk reward? How much is he putting on the line to make that much money? So those are the things that you should think about. Don't only think about, I'm gonna make X amount, but you don't even know how much you are risking. And You see, because of social media and because of the world, and everyone lies to people. Like, there are genuine people that really trade. If someone is making 400,000, it's because they are either risking 100,000 and they are making a 1 to 4 risk reward, or they are actually risking 20,000 and then they are making 11% per day, which is very rare. Not everyone can do that. So you don't even know how much they risked in order to make that money. So it's better to make consistent returns and to see that the first 3 months of the year or the first 4 months of the year, how much money have you made? Then you start realizing the problem is not the outside world, the problem is you. When you get that small money, okay, that you get, how do you manage it? How do you manage your finances? How do you manage your capital that you have? How much do you save? How much do you spend on expenses? How much do you have as emergency money? How much money do you reinvest in your trading every single month? All of those things come together to help you to become a profitable trader. All of those things help you. That's growth. By the end of the year, you can see year 1, I've made 500,000, or I've made 100,000 or 50,000 or 20,000, whatever your risk is. And then the next year you improve. But when you have a mindset of, I'm going to make $1 million in a day or in a month, and you don't have a lot of risk exposure, my friend, you are going to repeat 2026 the next year and the year after that, doing the same thing. And then later people will tell you that forex is fake and you give up. Not because forex is fake, but because you do not focus. You were not being realistic. All right, and that's what many people will not tell you. With that being said, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I'll go live during this week again, and obviously when I see great opportunities, I'll share it on the Telegram. Yeah, see you. I actually, by the way, I recorded the video of the $40 to 1,000, so I'll put that on the YouTube channel. Blessed.